Hi. Thank you for attending today's reading. Let's begin. How I got a mark from my teacher for translating a Wikipedia page at late night. I'm 15 and my English is pretty decent. So I used to go around and search for stuff to translate when I'm bored, so that I can improve myself and relax. One day, around 2 a.m., I couldn't manage to fall asleep. So I took my laptop and searched for a Wikipedia page I was interested about and found out it wasn't translated in my native language. That's not fair at all, I thought. So I started translating it on my own. Because if others don't do that for you, then do it first. It took me around 1 hour. And at the end my work was pretty good and I was proud of it. So I took a photo and posted it on my Twitter. Apparently, my English teacher, a pretty fresh and cool dude, managed to find my tweet. So after a week he comes up to me and says, "I read your translation about, and I found it pretty good for a 15-year-old student. So I decided to give you a mark for that. Good job." I was pretty shocked about the Twitter thing, but I didn't give a fuck considering the mark. End of story. Next story. Got called a pervert. 41 comments. Share save hide report. 98% upvoted. End of story. Next story. She is the most beautiful girl I have ever met. Hi friends, hand waving. So basically this is my love story. Well, I am planning on writing part by part cause it's a bit long and I hope you will find it fun and interesting. Disclaimer. I'm new to this cold sweat smile. I was in high school and I got selected to the school football team. I was the captain of my team. Our school team sucks. We never even won a single game in football in our history. But one thing that sports taught me was that nothing is impossible. We didn't even have a football coach and we had to train ourselves. It was rainy season. The ground was not in its best shape but we kept training. I'm going to fast forward this because it's not a sports story. We won 3 games and luckily I put a good performance and scored 5 goals in 4 games. I was utterly disappointed. I cried actually on the ground and opponent team came up to me and consoled me. It made me feel better and this is few of the reasons why it's called the beautiful game. Again fast forward, I got selected to the state team, which means I could represent my state. I was the first student to do that in my school and I was like a celebrity. If there was a hall of fame for my school, our football team would be on that, lol. So the day came and I had to travel with other selected players from different schools to the state, which hosted the state tournament. We had to travel by train. There was men's and women's basketball team traveling with us. My parents dropped me at the station and wished me luck. My classmates and friends were praying that I would score an own goal and embarrass myself there. Well, you know how friends are like. They just want to humiliate you. Where I'm coming from, trains are considered as a place where you meet the love of your life. Credits for this particular phenomenon goes to the movies released in my country. In a way, in my town there is no better love story than Trains and Lovestories. So my friends were hyping me up, especially after they realized I am traveling with the girls' basketball team. They were hyping me up so much because they knew that I don't have the knack to talk to women. Which is true. I didn't have any expectations for meeting anyone because I knew I'm never going to even start a conversation. I entered the train and found my seat. I sat down comfortably and looked up. There she was sitting in the upper berth laughing with her friends. I am pretty sure my iris would have expanded to the diameter of the moon. My heart was beating faster than the train engine. Ladies and gentlemen, I was in love. I don't know what you think about love at first sight, but I started believing in it after I saw her. She was the most beautiful girl I have ever met, and I don't think I will meet someone any better. She was wearing a pink t-shirt and pink shorts. I asked in my mind, what is she doing here? Who is running heaven then? Or am I in heaven? Suddenly she looked at me. Can't blame her. Who wouldn't look at a handsome guy? Just kidding. I think it was because I was staring at her for a couple of minutes. I looked away and I was finding it hard to look at her again. I don't know why I felt that way. Maybe it's because she was too pretty and my heart couldn't take it. Maybe she is not amazing, but when you are in love, the person you love is the prettiest. It takes almost 2 days for us to reach our destination, and I didn't care if it took a month. Part 2 tomorrow. Cold sweat smile. This is a true story. I don't even know why I am writing this, to be honest. It doesn't matter. I decided to write it. Please give me your valuable feedback. DM or comment. Doesn't matter. Upvote it if you liked my effort. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Black Heart. End of story. Next story. I may have indirectly killed someone. I lived in Mexico for a couple years, and while I was there, a couple Americans I knew kept getting robbed by the same guy over and over again. It got to the point the organization I was with planned to pull them out of the area. While this was happening, I had dinner with an lady and her family. Her brother was there, and I noticed he had a gun on his hip. Gun laws are very strict in Mexico. I had only seen one that was not owned by police, military or criminals, and I almost laughed because it was comically small. The gun the brother had was big, so I asked him what he did for a living, expecting him to say he was police or military. He straight up told me he was a hitman and killed people for a living. It was so casual, but I knew better than to ask any more questions. The night went on and the topic of the Americans being robbed came up. He asked me where this was happening, and I told him what part of the city it was. He told me he actually grew up there and for me not to worry about that guy anymore. A couple days later, the Americans were getting the last of their things from their apartment when a body was discovered a couple blocks from their house. They never found out who it was, but the area was reopened a few months later and the new guys never had any problems with being robbed again. End of story. Next story. Don't fall asleep with earphones. Got earbuds stuck in my ear. I was watching a movie on Netflix on my phone with earphones late at night. Typical Friday night for me. I woke up at 4 a.m. and had this weird thing stuck in my left ear. So I freaked out. Then it all made sense. The earbud was stuck in my ear and I couldn't get it out. Tried tweezers. Tried gravity lol. Didn't work. Of course I googled it to find a way to get it out, but I was too scared to do anything myself. Because I had no idea how things may turn out. So I rushed to the hospital. Worst 30 minutes of my life ISTG. Got to the hospital. Was so embarrassed telling the doctor what happened. We had a little chat. Too bad he had to repeat himself almost every time since I couldn't hear well. He was kinda laughing, and I gotta say it was funny for everyone except me. And let me tell you, the worst part was that he was kinda cute and I looked like shit. Luckily, he got it out. Not the best experience as well. Now I'm laughing writing this, but trust me, I was so freaked out and embarrassed. I got home and fell asleep right away. Wanted to share my little story. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk, and let the jokes begin. TL. Doctor got earbud stuck in my ear. Went to the hospital. Didn't meet the love of my life. Doc got it out, and that's the story I'm gonna tell my grandchildren one day. End of story. That is all for today. If you want to support my automated channel, feel free to drop a like and subscribe. See you tomorrow.